Baby Care 101. You have your precious bundle of joy, but now what? Lucky for us, we have the amazing Connie Simpson, aka Nanny Connie, who I have followed for a long time and is amazing. A childcare expert with over 30 years of experience who has worked with tons of celebrity parents, including John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, Justin Timberlake, and Jessica Biel. And she shares all of her insider tips and tricks with us. Just a reminder that if you have any questions like the other two sessions, just go ahead and drop them in the chat. Make sure it says to panelists and attendees, and we will try to get all of your questions answered. Take it away, Nanny Connie.
Thank you. Oh, see, am I in?
You are.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I know technology is
I'm
like
looking right at you, so like it's a pleasure to see you and to be with all of the parents here today. And thank you so much for having me a part of the panel. You know, it's just truly amazing to hear all of the speakers on this panel speak with us and give parents that security which is needed. This is Mental Health Month, and I think more than ever, parents need to know, stepping back into the COVID, coming out of COVID and coming back into the real world, that they do have the support and everything that they need from their village. My mantra always has been just be the parent. And in just being the parent, it means that you have confidence in yourself in the midst of all of this. So don't be afraid to trust your instincts with your new one. I can only amen everything the doctor and the lactation consultant has said to you, because it's all the truth. And it's really hard when you become that parent and bring that bundle of joy home. Now what do I do? Because I had so many people talking to me and so much information being given to me that I was saying, but when I get home, it's like, now what? And my partner and I both look at each other and you both go, now what? You have to remember that there are many things that you should be taking care of prior to that baby coming home. The first thing that you need to do is to make yourself, as the doctor said earlier, make yourself a list of things that you want to do and need to do. And listen, know this from Jump Street. You can want everything to be perfect all you want, but it's in somebody else's control. It's between the baby and your body, how things turn out here. And that is the understatement. So to be ready for that, you need to get your groceries together before you come home. Figure out your meal plan, because if you're a breastfeeding mother, or if you're a mother that's coming home and you've had a C-section, or just being in that moment of having that baby and coming home from the hospital, that hospital food or that person who's bringing your meal is not coming home with you. So you need to make sure that that refrigerator is totally stocked out the way that you want it to be. If you have a pet and that pet is your first baby, make sure you have a plan for that pet, so that when you come home with the baby, you don't have to worry about, now I need to pick up right where I left off. No, that's not what you do here. So that plan details every little minute move that you have made prior to that baby, to the point of, now I am back up on my feet. Because as everyone has said before, you rest is so important to you and to that baby, and to you being able to function with the baby. I always say you need to have a dry run on everything, putting the breast pump together, putting the car seat in the car, going to your pediatrician. You should go to your pediatrician before that day for that first visit. You need to go and see if there's a well room. You need to see how it functions. You need to meet all the doctors in the office so that you are comfortable when that moment comes and you're not sitting there going, well, they didn't tell us this. Filling out all of that paperwork takes away that anxiety. You will have so much anxiety when that baby comes home, because you're just wondering, can I be the best that I can be at this moment? Another thing I always tell moms is to get you plenty of outfits that you are comfortable in. Now, your favorite pair of jeans are your favorite pair of jeans. Don't cut the tag out of those, but get you two more pair of jeans, cut the tag out of those jeans so you don't measure yourself. It's about you being comfortable and you put on whatever works on that day. This is mental health month, and it's about your mental health as being a mother to be able to produce, to be able to function in your home. You need to also sit down with your partner and have trigger words and let them know what those trigger words are so that when you do feel like I'm overwhelmed, I can't do this, we've talked about it. And when you say ice cream, then okay, mom is stressed and now I need to step up. I think baby showers are really great for all the family and everyone to see all the stuff. But I think it's more important to have a daddy shower so a dad can understand what's about to happen. I have a book, and my book is, and I'm saying this because my book doesn't talk at you. It comes to help you understand that this is a fourth trimester that you're about to step into. And in stepping into that fourth trimester, that means you need to have a village. You need to make a list of people who are going to be in this village. You need to explain your needs that you want them to help you with in the village, and they need to be on the same page with you. I have now been more active as a virtual part of People's Village, and you can go to my website and get more information about being me still helping parents to be a part of the village, because I think it's super important for someone to go, now what? Well, no one told me about the bill of ribbon count. Well, no one told me about a PKU test. No one told me about like the lactation consultant that I needed to go. No one told me. So now there are places that you can find that kind of help. And I do have a spot to help those in those kind of situations. It takes a village. Don't stay on an island all by yourself. That's not where you need to be, because you have to heal from the inside out. It took you 9 months to grow this new human being. It's going to take you at least 9 months and then some to get yourself back. And everyone who's a part of your village needs to know that that's what's about to take place. Because you are up and you're mobile and you're able to do stuff, that does not mean that you're healed. Postpartum will come in different ways. You will look at something and go, I don't know why I'm crying, but I'm crying because that's the way I'm feeling at this moment. And your partner needs to know that they need to give you that touch. Touch is so important, as the lactation consultant said before, not only for that baby, but for that mother, because you have just been through a hell of an experience. And you need to know that your team is there for you. I am Nanny Connie, and I have seen it over and over and over again. It doesn't matter what status you come from or where your house is located. Being a new mother is hellacious, and having people around you is so very important. And now I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Wow. I mean, I guess I wanted to remind everybody, just as a resource, because I just had, my second son 9 months ago, is that Nanny Connie has an amazing book, The Nanny Connie Way.
Right.
And not able to read it, which I understand when you're nursing a baby, you're feeding a baby and diaper changing up all night. The audiobook is also invaluable. So I just wanted to put that in there because it's something that I have used and I love. So thank you, Nanny Connie.
Oh, you're so very welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of questions for you. Like, how do you know that you need more support, or when is a good time to reach out to someone like you?
I think you and your partners should do this research prior to the baby coming home. It's your second pair of hands. And now that COVID is about to be in our rearview mirror just a little bit, we're about to get back into the workforce. So having that someone who understands your protocol and wants to be a part of your team is truly important. And both parents need to be on board with this. They need to talk to this person. They need to put down, what their concerns were and what they really liked about them, because they're about to take care of your most prized possession. So just like having a baby shower, you should sit down and figure out how often can we have someone come in and who this person is going to be. I think picking a nanny is truly, or a baby nurse is truly important, because you are on that emotional roller coaster and everyone's not a fit. Most people, they look good, but then when they get home, I've seen baby nurses who will say, oh, I need to be off at this certain time. But at that moment, mom is dealing with an engorged breast and they need to know these kind of things. So talking to someone prior to the main event is truly important.
I agree with you. I think one of the biggest questions that comes up, as we become new moms, is how do we soothe a crying baby? I mean, that can be so jarring when you're trying to soothe the baby. What can we do?
And in soothing a crying baby, a baby cries because they don't have a vocabulary. Their cry is their vocabulary. So the most important thing is skin to skin. To hear your heartbeat, to know that you're comforting, that you're being comforting, that you are calm. You have to remain calm in the situation. You don't have to sway as much, but just that gentle pat and to gently massage their back and them feeling your heartbeat, because they've heard it for 9 months and they know your smell and they say, okay, mom's okay, I'm going to be okay. So that's important. Remove yourself from all the noise that's around you and sit very calmly with your child, and they will calm down.
Okay. Another big question that comes up, and I want to know the answer as well, is how do you help a baby soothe them to sleep or get them to fall asleep on their own?
I think this is really important, because a lot of parents are in the midst of trying to sleep train. Sleep training is really a tricky situation, because teething comes along. Parents want to start really early with it, and then you kind of feel like I've been a little derailed, but you're not. I think there's a window, there's a cycle. Every 3 hours a child is up, then they're ready to go down. So the older they get, the bigger the window is. The smaller they are, the smaller the window is for them to be up in the cycle of being awake and then going down for a nap. That's why children have 2 naps a day. Then they merge it together and they have 1 nap a day, because they've gotten older and they're able to stay up longer. So I think it's just truly important to pay attention to your child. If you've been up with an infant and they've been up 2.5 hours, then you're coming within that cycle for them to go back down. So a lot of parents think, well, they're on my clock. No, you're on their clock.
I love that. What's the number one piece of advice you give new parents?
Not to have your expectations so high and feel like you're a failure, because every child is different. What you did with your first child, you won't be able to do with your second child. That's because that's a different human being. If we were all cloned, then we'd be okay. We're not all cloned. We come into this world with our own uniqueness. So prepare yourself for that child. They're going to have your idiosyncrasies, you or your spouses, and just be ready to get up every morning and put on your armor of patience for that child, because they're going to try you. No matter how small or how large they are, they're going to try you, and you are their parent. And that's why I always say, just be the parent. Stand strong in who you are, because you're their protector. And your information that you give them, it's not wrong. It's just you trying to maneuver yourself through that stage of life with that child.
I agree with that. I mean, I feel like you're like a baby whisperer. So are there any go-to products that you use or recommend that every new mom has? Okay.
Yes. I was listening to the lactation consultant talk. I love the Haka. I think mom start off and they're breastfeeding and they don't have, I can't tell you the number of moms who are not my clients, but they will reach out to me as, Nanny Connie, can you help me? The haka is so amazing. When you're feeding on one side, it actually helps the other side to release itself and to go down. There are so many simple things that a parent can do. So I love the Kakuna baby. I think parents hold their babies and want them to feel cuddle. The Kakuna baby helps the parents with that situation of being able to put it into their little bassinet, something that they can hold on to. My book is something that will help a parent because it's not giving them like a direction to say, I'm a failure if I don't do this. I'm actually holding your hand to help you know, no, you're doing a phenomenal job at the moment that you're in. So let's continue and see how it can be tweaked. So I think those things, I love the oh my goodness, the pump. I'm trying to think of it. Oh, I'll come back to it. But there's a pump that I like that's really good. It's because all moms feel like that they are a cow. They always say, all I do is pump, you know. well, you don't. And you are giving a benefit to the world because you're giving a child to this world that's very protected. I love little sleep sacks. I think parents try to overdo it with their kids. You don't need a lot in the very beginning with your children. You need the little sleep gown so you can go in and out really quick. You need to be a ninja when you're taking care of your little ones because you want them to continue in that sleep cycle. Diapers are really good. The bathtubs with the slings, I think those are phenomenal because it helps to give a parent that confidence that they can, especially it involves the dad. The dad can be a part of it. So the Spectra, that's the one that I really love, the pump. Because moms stay so connected to the pump, the Spectra doesn't give that overwhelming, like, I'm here once again. And I think a mom needs to have a journal. A journal is so important for a mother because baby brain is real. I've been doing this for over 35 years and I have baby brain. I'm trying to remember like what side, what time, and what time did you eat? You know, so those kind of, people think I need to finish the baby room. No. You can have a dresser drawer, diapers, swaddles, burp cloths, and diapers for your babies behind, and you're good. You're so good. So I think those things are some of the things, and some of it I haven't even, a bottle, I like the Komotomo bottle because it kind of gives a parent that baby that like, I'm still attached to my mother's breast. I like the Dr. Brown's for moms who are dealing with the gas. I could go on and on. Gas drops are something a child should always have. You need to always, because even when they start eating foods, they have that acid from the food that they're eating, and they can't burp like us. Take the time to burp your child, lay them out. They should be limp noodles. And that's when you know that you have got really good burp child. When your child's legs are limp, when their arms are limp, and they're just laying there across your shoulder blade. So those are a few of the things that I really like.
I mean, they sound good to me as well. I know one of the big questions that keeps coming up is, do you have advice for people going from one child to two?
Oh my goodness. This is so important. I think in the very beginning, before that child comes home, we need to talk about and celebrate the joy that's about to come into the home. Let them know that now that you're here, we're going to have someone else because we love you so much. Talk about it throughout your whole pregnancy. Before the baby comes home, let them, if possible, I know in the midst of COVID, it's really been kind of hard, but let them, if possible, go to the hospital to see mom and see where this all came, where it all transpired at. And when the baby comes home, have a little gift from the baby to the big brother or the big sister to let them know, man, I'm so happy that you're my big brother or my big sister, so you can show me the ropes of this new home. Even with having a pet, I recommend taking the blanket from the hospital home so the pet knows that this new addition is about to come to the house. It's important. So I always tell my parents, make a calendar to have certain dates to continue to have time for that older child. When you have someone come into your home to help you, I think it's more important to let them help with the baby and let you continue with that older child, because they are recognizing the difference in the house and you want the routine to remain the same. The baby wants warm arms, someone to change their behind, and someone to feed them. And they're okay, they're loved. So in the midst of your day, do get your rest, but the majority of the time, if you can, spend it with your older child, because if they're younger and you've started potty training, there's going to be a regression. No matter what it is, there's going to be some sort of regression because they're mad at you. You know, now you bought someone else in, and what am I, chopped liver? So the thing you need to do is to continue to keep them at the forefront and keep up with your schedule. Don't give in over and over. Well, the new baby's here, let's do this. No, because now you're setting them up to say, well, this is the new way. This is how things can be. So stay as you were before that baby with your routine and how things go down, so that your child is going to continue with the pattern no matter what. Those are a few things that I talk about. And then with the calendar, if they're an older child, I always tell parents, let them know throughout the day, have a little time for them. But if they can't read, take a color and say, when this color shows up, this is your day. And you take that older child out for whatever it is, and it's one-on-one time. You can't do it collectively together, but to do it individually, you will be heard, they will hear you, and you will have a better relationship. No matter how old your child is getting, you need to always have one-on-one time with each child that's in your home. Because even you, what do you ask for? The first thing that you ask for is what? Date night. And that's date night with your husband. And you should have that. I always tell my parents, go out on a date, don't talk about the children, and reconnect, because that's how your family got here. And that's truly important. Date night is super important because you spend all your time over your breast, feeding the baby, and that's a lot.
Do you have advice, for partners? As we go through this, having their support and having them feel needed is so crucial. What sort of advice do you have for them?
I think it's truly important for, as I said in the very beginning, we think about baby showers. I think there needs to be a shower for a father or the partner to see and hear all of this, because they don't know. The beauty of me being in the home is I recognize a lot of the things before they happen, and that's what a baby nurse should do. They should recognize this to say, hey, you need to do this because she's feeling this kind of way, or to make that connection stay, because a lot of parents do drift apart. When a new baby comes into the home, things have changed. Your life will never be the same. It will be better for you and your enrichedness down the road, but in that moment, it won't be the same and you will feel torn apart. So it's really important for the spouse or your partner to have some kind of group or get some kind of information. Again, something that they're reading, or to listen to Nanny Connie, or have some kind of viral situation that they talk to someone to help them to know, listen, she's going to have engorged breasts. She's going to be up most of the night. Breastfeeding is, yes, it's her, but it's also you. So be attentive to her and make sure she feels that she's still important, as opposed to dismissing her. Feed her. Make sure that her pump station has all the little amenities to help her when she sits down to feed or pump. And those kind of things go a long way. And if you don't tell a person, they don't know. So it's important for them to have some kind of, I would say, jogging or some kind of class before, to let those partners know. Because a lot of fathers said, well, she didn't tell me. Well, I didn't know. And they're kind of right. They're so kind of right. So I think that's important for them to know that it's a fourth trimester. Keep that in mind. There's a fourth trimester. And you both walk through this fourth trimester with a little being connected to this whole fourth trimester. So
how would you say, what's like, I think for our last question, how would you kind of divvy up the responsibilities of having a new parent through the fourth trimester so that both people are doing something and that way it's a shared responsibility?
I think that, and another, I think that parents have strong suits, and you should play to your partner's strong suit. If they know what belongs in that refrigerator, then the grocery run is their strong suit. If they know where the kids go to school, which they should know, then they do the bus run with the kids. They take over your calendar with the other children or whatever is going on in that house, and they learn more about what you do in that home as opposed to just being a part of what you do in that home. So I think playing to the strong suits is so helpful to both parents. A lot of parents will say, well, my he didn't load the dishwasher right. Well, he didn't load the dishwasher right because he didn't know how the dishwasher was loaded. And this is just a prime example to tell you, to let you know that playing to a person's strong suit, and don't complain. They're there to help you, and if they're helping you the best of their ability, if they don't know how to fold the clothes, they got them out the dryer. But don't use that as, well, I don't know how to do it. And I think that's the other thing that partners do is like, well, she's breastfeeding, so it ain't on me. It is on you to go to make sure the house is stocked out, to make sure that all the other things that make that house run are important. So in the very beginning, before you have the baby, let's find out what your strong suits are and let's agree. So we don't disagree when I'm hormonal and on that ride. This is so important, and I don't think it's talked about enough. And a lot of partners and mothers are just like, I didn't get any help, or no one's there. When I grew up, there was a village. The village now has to be recruited in. When I was growing up, the village showed up before I even left the hospital. My aunts, my cousins, my mom, these people were there. Get a doula, get someone who can be in that hospital to say your needs. And from that moment all the way to the end of that fourth trimester, don't walk along, sister girl, don't walk along, father. Just walk together and walk with whomever is in that village.
Well, thank you so much for your wealth of knowledge, Nanny Connie. You can find her on Instagram at Nanny Connie.
Yes.
And like I said, your book is amazing. So I'd highly recommend the Nanny Connie Way, both on Audible and in paperback. Very, very crucial to have. And thank you for everything.